Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Mental Health Talk with Christina McIntyre. I hope that y'all had a great week and the best that you could. If y'all didn't, we can't reflect on what didn't happen yesterday. We can only focus on the moment now and try to prepare for what's to come. So let's try to give the most that we can in today. Enjoy today. Today is a nice day, and do something that tomorrow you will be thankful for. Don't forget to visit my website, www.becomeyourseed.com, where I talk about our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual aspects of ourselves to help unveil our true identity. Also, follow me on Instagram at Become Your C, Facebook BYC Become Your C, also YouTube BYC Become Your C, and I am on TikTok at Become Your C. I do have a book out now. It's called Become Your C, 21 Poems to Ignite Your Spiritual Journey. It's a book that I wrote. It's full of 21 poems to help you kind of think outside of the box, kind of get your mind to thinking a little bit. So if you're interested, I have a link on my page, Christina McIntyre, where you can order an ebook or also a paperback. Also, I have up-to-date chakra jewelry as well. If you're interested to learn more about the chakra journey and how it applies to holistic healing, you can message me and we can have a conversation about it. Or if you're interested in having jewelry to aid you on your journey as well, you can message me. Also, we are coming about the holiday season, and I would like to help in the community with the homeless. So if you're interested, or if I can do my part, I can bake, I can cook, I can do something to help give back. Message me, and I'll be more than happy to give my share. And Thanksgiving is about 4 weeks away, so we need to kind of hurry up on that. Also, the Christmas holidays as well. This is the last day in October. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I spoke briefly about that a couple weeks ago. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men suffer from domestic violence. And so we need to kind of put a stop to this pandemic or epidemic, epidemic, and want to let people know that they do not have to suffer in silence. I know that it takes about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times to leave before you get out that situation. But there is help. You can visit hotline.org or you can call 1-800-799-7233. Here in Chester, they have a Center Domestic Abuse Project has a location in the Chester Police Department. So if you feel unsafe, I know sometimes you can't just leave right away, but if you feel like that, please do go get help. We need you here. Your family needs you here. Your friends need you here. Your life is worth living and your life matters. So definitely go get help. This topic for this week is called Our Mirror Reflection, how it affects us mentally. So I've been reading this book. It's very interesting. It's called The Divine Matrix, but it gets you to thinking of why we behave the way that we do, why we think the way that we do, why we feel how we feel. And it got me to thinking, like, as regards to mental health, is that maybe sometimes our mental issues come from undealt with trauma and unrealistic expectations. And it's a spiritual aspect for me as well. But maybe we really need to stop and think about how we play in our role, right? At the end of the day, like, we do have mental health and it is real. It's a real thing. I deal with it on a daily basis. But at some point, we have to accept responsibility in our own healing, and that takes for us to take a look at ourselves in the mirror. And this is not even if you don't have mental health. This is just in general. Sometimes we don't want to face ourselves in the mirror because we're afraid of what's looking back at us, right? Sometimes we go about life and we feel like we know it all, right? We got everything together. We're like this picture perfect, like person, but in reality, that's not the case. Like, I've done this exercise on myself a few times, where at At one point, I'm thinking I'm this and that, and then I looked at myself in the mirror, and the mirror was like, no, you need to sit yourself down and you need to sit back and reflect. And I think that's what we need to do. It's not placing blame, it's just taking some ownership of the part that we play in our healing process. Although we do have mental health issues, we have to choose when we start healing so we can fix those issues so that we can become who we need to be for ourselves. Not that these issues are going to go away overnight or there is a cure for mental health illness, but it can get better. We can have a life that we can live. We can have a life that we feel fulfilled in, but first we have to fix the issues and we have to accept our part that we play in that. So the first thing I want to discuss is we attract who we are. We attract undealt with trauma. We attract things that we judged. So I say we attract who we are just by experience, and you could put this and play it in your own life how you see fit. So we attract who we are. So a lot of times we think that we're this type of person, right? We portray what we see ourselves as this person, but other people see us as well. And not saying that how other people judge us is what matters, but as the saying goes, like if one person says something about you, it's probably not true. But if multiple people keep saying the same thing over and over again, sometimes we need to sit back and look at ourselves. And that's what I mean by we attract who we are. Sometimes, let's say we don't think we're angry, but the way we come across as angry, right, towards people. And this is more than one person. And so over time, that's all maybe we get into relationship with people that's angry. So you're in a toxic relationship where both people are arguing loudly back and forth. And that's what I mean by we attract who we are. Or if you're a selfish person, you don't think you're selfish, and then you think that you're giving and giving and giving, but if you take a step back, you're always the one on the receiving end. Or if you do give, you may give because you expect something in return, right? And that's what I mean by like, we attract what we are. Like we can try to trick our frontal consciousness, but our subconscious know who we deeply truly are. So if you're hiding who you really are underneath the mask, it definitely will be revealed in over time. And then we attract under what trauma and pain. And I say this is because some things that we didn't deal with when we were younger, it's going to come up in relationships and in ourselves. And so we tend to gravitate towards those type of people. Let's say you felt abandoned and neglected when you were younger. Typically, you're going to be attracted to those people that was that way as well, or that needs or is someone that you feel like you can fix. And so you're going to deal with this person knowing that they are going to bring you issues as well. Like, let's say you suffer from abandonment and you deal with someone that is toxic and they always put you in a position where they threaten to leave you. So you're going to do things that you may not necessarily normal would just to keep them around you. Like you do things to please people because you don't want to be alone. And so this is a trauma response. And because if you don't do what they say, you feel like you're going to be by yourself. And so your anxiety will kick in. Your panic will kick in, like, oh, I don't want to be alone. So you will adhere to what they're saying. And so if you don't deal with those issues, you're going to keep attracting those type of people. And I did this in my own life, this exercise in my own life, and looking over my relationships. And it's true. I keep dealing with the same type of people. And now as an adult, I know why. Because I've been doing the work. And it's not easy to sit down with yourself and saying, hey, like, I know why I'm attracting these type of people, but you keep repeating the cycle. Why do we keep repeating the same cycle? Is because we're trying to fill a void that wasn't there when we were growing up. Like for me, myself, I have abandonment issues. I have neglect issues. I have being like I left alone, and I have dependent issues, right? And I've been trying to work my way through them over the last 3 or 4 years. It's not easy, especially something that was that happened growing up. And then this is why I urge people to get the help that they need. If you do have children or something happened growing up, that you get the help early on. It's better because the later on that you get help, the more it festers, and then the more time it takes to really heal. Um, so that's one example of it. And then, or you're going to attract, or you might become that person that made those issues relevant when you were growing up. So you can become the opposite, right? And so you don't think that you're this person, but again, if everyone around you keeps saying that you're this type of person, you have to take a look at yourself sometimes. Or it could be that you're just you like to help people, right? You want to see the best out of people, but at the end of the day, no one's perfect, and sometimes people can sense that urgency, that wanting to help people, so they take advantage of the situation. You thinking that you're doing everything that you can, being the nice person that you can, and they see it as an opportunity to attack. And so, being who you are, you fell for it, but this in turn will affect your mental health as well. It can affect your self confidence, your self esteem, your worth. And so we must pay attention to why we do the things that we do. Or maybe we are fixer uppers. We feel like if we give to this person so much, oh, maybe we can do this. If you could love this person enough, if you could do this. And this is not just an intimate relationship, this is family and friends as well. This person will be better. Oh, I can stick around long enough. And then at the same time, they're damaging you mentally, right? And so now they create all these problems for you. You fall into depression because you feel like you're not good enough. And also, we tend to create these realities in our head when you suffer sometimes from mental health issues that aren't a reality, right? And so you fall into the category of having hallucinations, and that in turn will create schizophrenic symptoms. And schizophrenic is like you can't distinguish between reality and fantasy, and so it's important that we deal with things that come up. And sometimes you don't know if it's an issue until it's I don't want to say it's too late, but it's so far gone. And this is why I urge people to get help. Sometimes you can't do it on your own. And therapy is good. Whether you use religion, that's good. Medication can be good sometimes. And I'm not knocking medication. I think some people do need it, but medication is not going to deal with the trauma that has been had. So you still have to deal with all of that. You got to speak about it. You got to figure out what's going on, and you got to make a plan, and you got to heal. I say we can be the cause of our own pain. So we know these things are going on. We know the patterns that we have, and we keep repeating them. So when do we step in and accept responsibility for that and try to heal, right? We can cause our own pain sometimes by staying in situations that no longer serve us, by continuing to allow things to happen to us that shouldn't be, or we put ourselves in positions that we know we shouldn't be in, but we're trying to prove a point. We're trying to prove our worth, and so we're causing more damage to ourselves. And so at the end of the day, we have to be the ones to say, hey, look, I had enough, like, or I'm responsible for it. And that is a hard task to follow through on. I practiced a little bit of that this year. And this is how you heal, though. Like, for me, when I was in an abusive relationship, you always blame the other person. Like, why? I mean, I thank God that I got out, and thank God that you're no longer in it. But ask yourself, okay, you knew this was happening, and I chose to stay. And there's reasons why we choose to stay. And when you accept part of your responsibility in whatever situation you're in, it doesn't even have to be an abusive situation, but when you accept your responsibility in it, that begins the healing process. Now you gain some power back, right? Because once you accept your responsibility in it, you have an obligation to yourself to heal. and that part is yours. Like, the other person is not going to heal for you. You have to choose how you're going to heal and when you're going to heal, and it's your journey for yourself. Um, and it's not a rush, because a healing, I think some people want to, like, get over it really fast, but it takes time to get over any type of hurt and pain and trauma, and depending on how long you had to deal with it. And so you got to be kind to yourself, and you got to be honest with yourself. Like, are you doing everything that you can to possibly deal with this? And I don't think a lot of us want to be honest with ourselves, because we're afraid of the answers that we seek. And I talk about this sometimes too. Like, that's why I urge meditation, because meditation gives you time to sit and reflect, and the questions that you seek will be answered by yourself, for yourself, if you listen. But a lot of times, when we do meditate and we do sit and reflect, we try to basically argue with ourselves, right? We say, oh, this is not right, oh, that's not how I am, but in reality, that is. And it's not changing who you are as a person, but just changing your patterns and your behaviors that's causing the issues, or you keep attracting these things. And it's okay to want to help people. It's okay to be who you are, but if that is causing you hurt and pain, you have to take a step back and look at everything overall, and figuring out a different way how you can navigate through life without the trauma that keeps following you. And then you have to address it. You have to say, like, this is what happened, or this is happening, and this is who I keep attracting. Why do I keep attracting people like this? And then make a plan on how can you fix it. Sometimes we have to break these, call it generational curses, or patterns, and ask yourself why. If you are a person that keeps attracting, let's say, people that steal, thieves, right? And then you're yourself not a thief. And maybe because we're judging people of why we do it, so that's what we're attracting. The book that I'm reading, it's called The Divine Matrix, and it talks a little bit about that. This lady, I'm gonna give an example. This lady, that's the author of the book, she was telling of a story that she was a really good person, but she had a control issue. So she was attracting people that had control issues as well, and they wanted control. And so they took things from her, and she couldn't understand why. And then, instead of getting angry, she accepted it as it was. She didn't, like, someone took money from her, she didn't try to sue. And once she accepted everything as was, more doors open for her. And that's what I want us to understand, is that things happen to us that we can't control, right? We can't choose when someone does us wrong, and we can't choose our mental health issues, that they are there. But we can do is make a plan to heal. We can make a plan to change our routines and our behavior patterns, so that we can attract what we want out of life. I believe in manifestation. I believe that everything that we need and desire, it can be brought to us only if we're ready to receive it. And by being ready to receive it, let's say you're a person that is not good with money, and you receive like $1 million, right? So if you're not a person that's good with money, that money can go very quickly. So, not saying, I mean, winning a lottery is hard, but maybe that door won't open for you because you're not in a position to receive it. And this is what I believe, like manifestation, you put it out there, what you want and what you need. And then also, you have to be willing to do the work behind it. Um, I like the saying, have faith as a mustard seed, and like God will do His part in it as long as you do your part, right? You can't expect people or God or universe or whatever you believe in to help you provide if you're not willing to do the work behind it. And getting yourself together mentally is a very difficult task. You have to fight at it every single day, and it's tiring. It's exhausting. Some days you do want to give up. I struggle on a day-to-day basis of how my day is going to plan out. I never know how the day is until I get up and start moving about my day, and I'm pretty sure that's how it feels for you. But you have to take ownership back. And this is how, again, we get the power. We take ownership, we accept responsibilities, and now we're obligated to ourselves to begin the healing process, right? You can't be mad at what you receive and what you're not giving out. And this goes into something else. A lot of us want things and we desire things and we need things, but we're not willing to do our part, right? Let's say we want people to help us, but we don't help people. Or we want doors to open for us, but we're sitting at home watching TV all day. We want everything to fall in place the way that we want to, but we're not willing to sacrifice any of ourselves in order to gain that. And that's what it's all about. Like, you have to be willing to do something different if you expect something differently. And you can't keep doing the same things over and over again and expect different results. And that's just how life works. And a lot of us tend to, we get upset and we get mad about how things are not moving in our life when we're not willing to do what it takes to get it. And this is what I mean. You have to be diligent at your healing process. You got to be diligent about changing, because this is not something that you do and one time and then that's it. You have to go about change and on this journey every single day, because it's a fight. Like, when you deal with mental health issues, it's not a quick fix, right? Even if you take medication, you still have to take the medication, see how well it works with your body, or if you're on other medications. So you have to be active in your role of the healing process, of your healing process, because this is for you. And try to figure out something that works for you. But definitely you got to participate. You have to know, one, that you're worth it and you're worth the time and effort, and then put it into play. Like, make a plan. I say make plans because sometimes we have things in our head and it gets scattered. Like, for me, I have to write things down repeatedly, because if I try to remember everything, I'm going to forget some things. And so make a plan for your life that you think that can work out, especially if you want to receive the things that you want. And sometimes life just happened, though, and I think that's important. Like, yes, we want things, we need things, we desire things. We could be this picture perfect person, but things don't always go our way either, and I think we need to accept that as well. Like, life throws us curveballs. We have to learn how to go with the curve. And just because things don't always go as planned, maybe something didn't happen that way for your own benefit. I always say, look at things in a different perspective, right? Like, let's say something didn't work out. Let's say you wanted to get a job and you didn't get that job. Maybe something happened at that job that would have did something damaging to you, but you actually had the door open that helped you in your purpose in life or whatnot. So you got to look things at sometimes a different perspective, and not always, oh, I didn't get this, or just because I wanted it. Sometimes the things that we want is not what we need. And maybe the universe and God is saving us for something that could be happening. Let's see. So again, how do we heal from all of this? So we heal by accepting our responsibility. We heal by seeking help as soon as we know an issue arises. It is not a bad thing to say, hey, I need help. We all need help. We cannot do this. We can't navigate through this life by ourselves. Life is so hard. And sometimes we need a helping hand. And that is okay. We need each other. We need people. We are not created to exist by ourselves. Be diligent in working through your issues. Take it day by day. There is no rush during this whole journey in life. we should learn every day, right? We learn about ourselves every day, and that's what's beautiful, right? We can make mistakes, but we have the opportunity to also learn from them. Be kind to yourself during this process. These things happen to you. Yes, you have a right to be angry, upset. You can cry. You can do all these things, but make sure that those things are not being detrimental to you or to other people as well. You're going to have your good days and bad days, but make sure even on your bad days, you can give the best that you can and whatever that looks like. Because every day is not going to look the same, but as long as you're giving your best effort in that day, that's what counts the most. Remove yourself from situations that can contribute to your issues. Sometimes we can't change everything all at once, but start with the little stuff, right? If you're in situations that is a trigger that brings up trauma, you're around people, remove yourself from those situations. Yeah, it's going to hurt in the beginning, but this is all about how you can be the best you in this world. We're only here for a limited time, so we must use our time wisely. Forgive yourself and forgive others. Forgive yourself for accepting things that you shouldn't. Forgive yourself for placing the blame on yourself and others. Forgive yourself for not having it all together all the time, but also forgive others too. Like, they played their part, and once you do that, you gain some of your power back. The longer you allow that person and those memories to affect you, the longer it takes for you to heal. Say meditate and pray. That's how I use to help me through my healing process. Positive affirmations is simply as I am beautiful, I'm kind, I got this, I'm powerful. Like, you speak life into yourself. There is power in words, and let's use words to our own benefits. Our subconscious hears us, our cells in our bodies hears us. So let's speak those words so that we can learn to uplift ourselves, and then we can uplift others as well. And mantras is just simply saying. I have one that I say, I can't control everything. And with those things I can control, I can control. And if I cannot control something, I don't need to worry about it. And this is what has helped me to be able to navigate through life better. Like, I worry about a lot of things, and I'm still working on it. I'm still an extensive worrier. And so I'm learning how to let go of things that I can't control. And if everything is meant for you and for me, we can have it. If it's not meant for us, I always believe that God will shake things up and take it away from us, whether we are ready for it or not. So just be active in your healing process, right? And make sure that you're not always the one pointing the finger, but sometimes we got to point the finger back at us and look at ourselves and ask ourselves, are we doing our part in our healing process? Are we the way that they say they are? And if we're not, then ask ourselves, why are we attracting that? Why? And then do the work that it takes to heal. Because you deserve to be happy. You deserve to become who you need to be for yourself and for the world. I believe that we're all here for a purpose and for a journey, and our life is meant to be discovered and enjoyed, right? And I want us to heal so that we can become who we need to be, right? Become your seed all day, every day, is because we have so much in us to give, but a lot of times we can't become our full self because we allow trauma and hurt and pain to continuously be the death of us. And I want us to rise above that, right? Do the work that needs to be done, but also accept our responsibility in our healing process. It's our journey for ourselves, and we can't expect people to give to us what we don't give to ourselves. So let's give ourselves the benefit of the doubt. Let's give ourselves what we need so that we can become who we need to be for ourselves and others. I want to thank each and every one of y'all. Tune in each and every Sunday, 12 p.m. here on cmpradio.net, on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram at Become Your C, Facebook BYC Become Your C, YouTube BYC Become Your C, my website www.becomeyourc.com. Also, if you're interested in my book to help you unlock the deeper part of your brain, you can go to my Facebook page, Christina McIntyre, and click on the link. Also, if you're interested in learning more about the chakra journey, another approach to healing, I use holistic. you can message me as well. Also, if you're interested in helping with the homeless, or if you need me to help, I am available. Also, this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, October. If you're in a situation you need to get out of, you can always call them at 1-800-799-7233 or visit them hotline.org. Let this week be the best week that you can make it, but remember to sit down today and ask yourself questions that you're afraid to ask and do the work necessary so that you can become who you need to be. Fall in love with yourself so the world can fall in love with you. Until next time.